Hello, everyone. These are the lesser known news stories of the Ukraine war for Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. This day marks the halfway point of the year. So let's get started. First story, this is a Telegram post from the National Resistance Center, and it explains that Russian occupiers in Crimea, in the city of Sevastopol, they want to replace an ancient Roman fort with shopping centers and cottages. So this fort dates back. It's a Roman fort from the. It was used in the second and third centuries in the Common Era, and it's located specifically in the Balaclava district, and it has been the site of archaeological excavations. A lot of excavations were performed there up until 2013, which is the year before Russia, the illegal annexation of the Crimean Peninsula by Russia. And a treasure containing ancient denarius coins, which was the currency used back then, back in the second and third centuries, was found at the site in 1992. And yet Russia has seems to have no regard for the historical significance of the site. They just want to tear it down, and they want to build new shopping, new stores, new cottages. And the Telegram post from the National Resistance Center further explains this is not only barbarism, but also a continuation of the criminal policy of destroying Ukrainian and world cultural heritage. So the next story comes from Army Inform, and they report that Ukrainian aerial reconnaissance officers of the Flying Skull unit managed to identify and destroy a Russian drone repair center in one of the war zones. They didn't specify specifically where it was, but somewhere in one of the war zones in Ukraine. The Russians tried to conceal the identity of the location of this drone repair base by housing it inside some buildings that were largely in ruins because of heavy fighting in the area. And the Ukrainian defenders launched the attack with American-made GBU-39 high-precision guided aerial bombs. And when these bombs hit the facility where this base was located, it resulted in a very big, fiery, spectacular explosion. So I'll show you the video of that, a quick video of that. All right. So moving on to the next story. This comes from a resistance group, Ukrainian. It's the Yellow Ribbon Resistance Group, which is made up of Ukrainians who oppose the Russian occupation and the war. So the resistance group they're continuing to oppose the Russian occupiers in parts of Donetsk Oblast that are occupied by the Russians. And they're doing this by posting signs, stickers, graffiti, and ribbons around different parts of the region. And they show pictures on their Telegram page of some of the activities they're doing. So the group members are secretly posting these items, along streets, near schools and homes, and also they're leaving these items on public transport, on local buses, to expand the group's message, basically that Donetsk is Ukraine, and they have other messages of resistance that they post when they leave these items. It's kind of a sort of a secretive, almost a silent resistance, but it is very effective in letting the Russian occupiers know that the Ukrainians still are opposing their occupation. So The next story comes from the Security Service of Ukraine, and they report that a Ukrainian grandmother is now being accused of recruiting her 19-year-old granddaughter to help Russia prepare airstrikes on the Zaporizhia region. And the granddaughter was tasked with locating the local reserve command posts of the Ukrainian Defense Forces and relaying details of the location and the activities there uh, to uh, to Russian agents, to Russian handlers through messaging apps on her phone. She tried to do it anonymously, but the Security Service of Ukraine agents, intelligence agents, were able to track her communications and arrest her. So after her arrest, she was found guilty of committing high treason under martial law and sentenced to 15 years in prison. The report didn't say anything about the grandmother and whether she'd been arrested or sentenced, but I'm sure she is will face some punishment as well if they were able to catch her. The last story I want to talk about today this is actually a bit of Russian propaganda news. It comes from the Russian propaganda RIA Novosti, and they are claiming that military-themed stores that sell military clothing and other kind of military collectible items in Ukraine, that they are selling supposedly items with Nazi insignia on them. So the publication is claiming that instead of swastika emblems, many of the clothing items that are being sold feature the Ukrainian coat of arms surrounded by an oak wreath, which is supposed to be a symbol of Nazism. One shop owner even allegedly has been selling clothes with slogans like Ukrainians, we are not Nazis, and then also Ukrainians, let's make Nazi shorts. That was the translation that I saw. I don't know if that's an exact translation, but supposedly these slogans are printed on these clothes. But interesting enough, the publication didn't provide any photographic or video evidence to support these accusations, so this is likely just silly propaganda that the Russians are trying to circulate. But so anyway, that is all for today. If you like my content, want to continue to see more of these types of videos, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I will catch you all in a future video. Take care, everyone, and have a good day. Bye.